You are not overreacting. You have just as much of a right to be there as anybody else in the waiting room. And your health is just as important as everybody else's. Let's talk about going to the doctor as a foreigner. Hello you guys and welcome to the Life in Germany channel. My name is Jenna. I'm a Canadian who's been living here in Germany since 2014. I share a lot of funny experiences that I have. I like to interview experts, but today I'm going to open up about an experience that leaves me feeling totally and utterly helpless and vulnerable. Let me start off by saying that if you've watched any of my other videos, you already know that I am a huge fan of the German healthcare system. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the process of going to a doctor as a foreigner here in Germany isn't, for me, absolutely terrifying. Now, I filmed myself on my iPhone. Audio is a little bit off, but I just wanted to give you a first-hand experience of what it can feel like. Please take this video with a grain of salt, as we like to say in English. Everybody's experiences are different. Almost all doctors speak English in Germany. I'm just stuck in my mentality of you live in Germany, you should speak German, Jenna. I try to speak German because I always want to be treated equally, but I struggle with the language. And more importantly, with my confidence when I'm speaking the German language. So here it is. I am constantly terrified to go to the doctor here. You always feel like you're going and that they're gonna be like, why are you here? Why didn't you just go somewhere else? They really make you second guess if there's anything wrong with you, where in reality, I shouldn't be nervous to go to the doctor. If something's worrying me, I should go. Unfortunately, I never go because I'm just always so scared that they're gonna like kick me out or be rude to me or whatever. So today I just went to the Hautarzt, the skin doctor, because after pregnancy I got a lot of new freckles. One of them was scabbing and it was like 4 months like this, and then a few people were like, that's a good sign of skin cancer, Jenna, you should probably get that checked. I've never been to the skin doctor before. I didn't know if I was overreacting or whatever, but in Germany it's definitely like the #1 place where they make you feel like you're overreacting. Another thing that happens in Germany quite often is that you make an appointment. I had a referral from my doctor, and then all of a sudden you wait 1 hour, 2 hours. Today I waited 1 hour. There were so many people in the clinic with me. You go, I kid you not, it was about 40 seconds and then it was done. I didn't even get a chance to really like tell him what was wrong with me before I even got to tell him that it was scabbing. Like, I'm trying to get words in. Not to mention I'm also foreign to the German language, so I can't speak perfectly yet. He's just like not even giving me the time of day to even explain anything. He's just like, okay, take your clothes off. So I'm like, okay, and then I'm like going, I'm trying to talk like behind the curtain, trying to get anything out that I can. I take my clothes off, I come out, he puts me under a light, asks like, do you have any on your breast? And I'm like, yeah, there was one and it was also scabbing. And he's like, okay, let me see. And then I'm like showing him, okay, which way do I have to go? That way. And before I even like pulled out my boob, he was just like, it's fine. It's fine. And I was just like, but, and he was like, you can go now. And then you go and you're just like, man, it's been like 4 months. I waited so long for this appointment. I had to go to the doctor. I had to get a referral. I'm finally here. I wait 1.5 hours to get my appointment. And then 30 seconds later, I'm dressed and I'm out the door. So it kind of just makes you feel like I just wasted all this time and that I didn't even get the answer I wanted. I don't want him to say that I have skin cancer. I don't, obviously. I'm happy about the result. And I do trust his judgment because he's been doing this his whole life, but I don't know, you could just let people feel like a little bit more sane about their decision to go to the doctor. It's just, I don't know. Going to the doctor as a foreigner, not speaking the German language properly, is something that is extremely nerve-wracking, and I don't expect special treatment. I mean, this is how every German gets treated at the doctor's office, but it's just definitely a culture shock. For lack of a better word, for an international when you don't have this experience at home. So let me just pause us here for 1 second. When I mentioned that I feel like it's the language and not understanding those cultural differences still even 9 years later after living in Germany, which is why it should go without saying that it is very important that you learn the German language before you get here. It does not have to be perfect, but I would highly suggest that you start before you come here. You can move to Berlin, you do not need the German language, but a lot about learning the language also includes learning about culture here in Germany and cultural differences, including things like going to the doctor. So that is why it is so important to find a native speaking teacher that understands what it's going to be like for you living here in Germany. And that brings me to introduce you guys to our amazing and long-standing sponsor, you guessed it, Lingoda. You've heard me talk about Lingoda before, but if you are new to my channel and just tuning in, Lingoda is an online language school that provides classes 24/7. They teach languages in business English, German, French, and Spanish, and offer small class sizes so that you have the opportunity to really speak one-on-one with the teacher, even if it's not a one-on-one video call. What I really love about Lingoda's curriculum is that it really focuses on real life situations here in Germany. How the language is actually spoken, understanding cultural norms, but in a fun way. For example, how's your German? Lingoda put together a really fun quiz to see if you understand some of the funniest idioms or sayings that they say in the German language here. What about jetzt geht's um die Wurst? Or das geht auf keine Kuhhaut. I'll link that quiz down below if you guys want to go test it out yourself. But I also come bearing gifts. Not only can you take advantage of their 7-day free trial, which includes 1 free private class or 3 free group classes within those 7 days, but if you like the classes as much as I do and you would like a discount on your first purchased course, you can also use my code JENNA30 to get 30% off of your first purchase. Now back to the story. Just to give you a better idea of what it might be like in Canada, it is similar. You do wait a hell of a long time. You don't always need a referral, but that's the same in Germany. You don't always need it. It's recommended, but you can also, it's getting easier and easier to go to these specialists without a referral. However, I just have the feeling that when you go in the room, they really like sit down, look at you in the eyes and say, okay, tell me your problem. Like, first you take a breath, you explain to them everything that's going on, then they check you out. And I just feel like they're listening a lot better. And time again, I hear that from a lot of expats or foreigners here in Germany, is that they feel like if they do have the opportunity to talk, then the doctor's like sitting there on their computer, like typing away, just not even really paying attention to them. Meanwhile, they are paying attention, they're just typing. As a human being, you just want people to look you in the eyes and be like, I understand, it's okay, don't worry, we'll take a look, I'll let you know, we'll go be thorough about it. I personally think that being a doctor, yes, you have to be qualified and trained to be one, but you kind of also have to be a therapist. And I know that's not part of the job description, but it is something that is extremely appreciated. Sometimes I just feel like I'm not strong enough, like I'm not assertive enough to like take a stand and be like, listen, doc, like my health is important and I know that you're professional about this and I trust your judgment, but like just be a little bit more, I don't even know what I'm trying to explain here, guys. But I guess I would just like to know also, for the Germans who are watching this video, how do you feel when you go to the doctor? Like, is it the same for you as it is for a foreigner? Because sometimes I feel like it doesn't even have anything to do with the fact that I don't speak perfect German, and that maybe Germans feel the exact same way. I've said this before, where in Canada we don't actually go to the doctors unless like something is terribly wrong. I mentioned that in a video when I told you guys I went to the emergency room because my arm was entirely swollen and I was just in so much pain, excruciating pain at 4 a.m. And the guy just looks at me and is like, why are you here? Like, this is something for your doctor. Like, why did you even wait this long? And it's because naturally in Canada, a lot of us typically wait until it's too late. Every time I go to an appointment here, in my back of my head, I'm like, I'm probably overreacting. And then when I go, the doctor every single time also makes me feel like I'm overreacting. And this doctor, he was really, really nice. But I just feel like he looks at me, he's like, okay, she's in her 30s, young, probably would not have skin cancer. Let's not actually give her a thorough check. Like, that's how I feel. And I don't know, how do you guys feel? As you can tell, I was at a serious lack of words seeing that I filmed that entirely unplanned video. But what I was trying to get at is that in Germany, it is so important to put your foot down and be assertive. You need to be confident in your decision. I am never confident. You need to go to the doctor before it gets too bad. And you also need to know that you are not overreacting. I need somebody to tell me this all the time. You are not overreacting. You have just as much of a right to be there as anybody else in the waiting room, and your health is just as important as everybody else's. What I should have done is just ask them to speak in my native language and not been so scared that they would treat me differently. And while I hope and pray that my skin is healthy, that he did his job thoroughly, I also feel like I'm the only one to blame here for not having put my foot down. I'm gonna leave you here with a few words of wisdom that might sound brutal, but are extremely true. Here in Germany, you do not get what you want by being nice. You get what you want by being assertive and strong. So get out there, learn from my mistakes. Please do not let this scare you off. Vielen, vielen lieben Dank und wie immer, bis später.